What is good, boys? Zoran Trades back with another banger. We back funded and we started off the funded nicely, building out a flow 5,000 Rand day for the boys. I'm still building a buffer on my account, so obviously this isn't going to be requested in a payout. But actually, I just wanted to show you guys this. Actually, I don't have the Traderify dash out now, but I'm just going to explain it. I'm trading something called a Traderify Select account right now. I'm not currently partnered with Traderify, by the way. I'm just telling you guys this. I'm trading a Traderify Select account, and what that means is I can take a payout every single day, but I have to build a buffer on it. So I'm busy building a 2K buffer, but when that buffer is built, anything above 2.1K, I'm just going to be able to request that as a payout, which is pretty nice if I'm able to do that. So yeah, anyways, without further ado, boys, let's get into it. This was actually the trade that I took on Monday. It's currently Wednesday, and I didn't take any trades this week, and I forgot to post the recap because it's just been a while. So yeah, appreciate you guys all popping in. Opening into the day, we were very bullish. As we can see here, hourly time frame was bullish. We had just inversed this 1 hour gap over here. At this point in time, I'm just determining my bias, right? What do I want to see? I want to see this Friday high get taken. That's an obvious draw. Friday high. We have just inversed a 1 hour on the higher time frame, telling me that we are respecting bullish. And from here on out, I'm just looking for an entry and a retrace into a PD array. So we have this 1 hour gap here, which I was actually looking to trade out of. And then we've got this 1 hour gap over here. And this is the one that ends up getting hit on open. We actually had this 930 Judah swing on open, which looked like this. Let me just see how many candles does it play. It plays one, right? If I pause it, yeah, okay. So we had this here. What time is this? 9:28, 9:29. So we had this 1 minute here, right? And inside this leg, we also had a 30-second. But as you guys can see, we never came down into my desired 1 hour gap, right? This one right here. And this was the gap that I wanted. It was way more discounted. It was in line with equilibrium of the range. My bad, give me a sec. Yeah, I can pull out my Gann box and I can mark this out for you guys. This fair value gap here is in line with equilibrium of the range, and I did see us sweeping this, pushing a little higher, sweeping all of this liquidity, and then making the real move. So in this point in time, I saw a 30-second gap here, and I saw a 1 minute gap here, right? Which I could have taken inversions out of. And the next candle actually did give an entry. There we go. This was a valid entry here, right? If we had entered here, stops at the low, and targeting maybe like a 1 to 1.5 R fixed, because there's no internal highs for us to target, right? Maybe you could just, yeah, beautiful. This was actually the high that I was targeting in this move. There's this target as high as a target right here. And this trade actually does end up playing out, right? So I didn't take this just because it's 1 minute into market open, and we never took out my EQ, and we never took out the 1 hour gap that I wanted, so I just faded this setup, which actually did end up playing out though. Okay. And then, after that, I've still got this main high up here, which was the high that I wanted to see get taken. So I waited a little bit. And at this point in time, what are we looking for? If we didn't get the high swept on the PD array, what am I trying to see? I'm trying to see us make a 5 minute fair value gap, pull back into that 5 minute fair value gap, and take us higher towards that high, right? The high is up here somewhere. I'm not going to go check where it is now, but let's just imagine it's here, okay? So I now have space between where I am and this high. And please, may my fucking MacBook not be connected to my AirPods. Please, bro. I beg, the audio's been working the whole video. Okay. At this point in time, I'm just waiting for this 5 minute gap to get filled and to give me an entry higher. So I wait for us to tap this gap here. first for us to create it, obviously, and then at what time did we create it initially? Here, we tapped it, right? Flip, why is this thing playing? Okay. Right here is also fine. This is exactly where I entered. So what I did, I waited for us to sweep this 5-minute gap, right? As we can see, this 5-minute gap here was swept. Okay. We swept this gap and we had a 1-minute inverse. Well, I think it was a 30-second. We had a 30-second down here. There was only a 30-second gap down here, right? This got inversed up here, and I just didn't like the feel of it. So I put a limit order right here on this high, which is actually where price is right now. So this was what my trade looked like. And then I think I took, I don't know if I didn't target the whole high, but I'm gonna take out exactly how I did when I did, because I closed it a little bit early, which actually ended up in me saving myself from getting break even. So this was my entry here. I'm just gonna buy, stops, and I don't know if I targeted, I think I targeted the whole high, and then I can show you guys when I closed. Oh no, yeah, I did target the whole high. Okay, at this point here, my stop loss, after this reaction, I didn't enter right there. I actually entered on this first tap, so my entry was over here. Stop loss at the lows, and then obviously take profit here at this high. And at this point in time, this high here, the lower high, I trailed my stop at this high. So once we took this high out here, I trailed my stop loss. So I then trailed my stop loss here. And then at this high, this was my internal high, and I went break even there. So at this point in time, I was break even on this trade. And then hits full take profit. So this trade made me $329 on my funded account. So yeah, that was the trade. And then as we can see, as always, what you want to do is take these, as Blake calls it, this low hanging fruit, because the market does like to chop around. Like if we can see this high is still here, we should be bullish towards this high. I could have held longer, but then what happens on pretty much the next candle? Look, bang. Pretty sure it goes all the way down. Okay, no, in this case I would have actually been fine, but more often than not, after that low hanging fruit high gets taken out, chop around, because at that point it can still trade into this level, maintain structure, and make a higher low and still be valid, but you know, it might not, and then there's no point in you still being inside that trade when you could have secured more than enough RR for the day to consistently make money. But yeah, boys, that's it from my side today. That's the trade that I took. I'm really hoping that audio was right. Appreciate each and every one of you who pops into these, and much love. I'm gonna see you guys soon. Check out my Instagram and check out my Discord server, which is link in the description. That's just free. And yeah, appreciate you guys.